Heavens high. I'm Derek, and I'm a member of the Faithful Remnant Church, the true church of the Most High True God, led by his two witnesses. They are PROPHESIED and Mary Romanes. Please go to the website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com and read the words of your Creator. Jesus Christ the Lord, the Most High True God, spent almost 3.5 years ministering and teaching the people the way to the kingdom of heaven. During that time period, he started gathering his disciples. Although there were so many people who followed the Lord, it turned out that they all left him and joined the enemy's team to mock, to sabotage, and eventually kill the Savior. But in all these, there was a time set for all to be fulfilled. There was a laid down timetable that the Most High True God has set for the people. So at the wedding feast, when the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Queen of Heaven, requested of the Lord to give them wine, Jesus responded by saying, "O woman, my hour is not yet come." Then at Gethsemane, when Jesus came to his disciples after his prayers, he said to them, "Behold, the hour has now come for the Son of Man to be delivered to the sinners." That was really the time, because it was a Passover and at the full moon. They arrested the Lord and brought him to the council. And throughout the whole night, they beat him, mocked him, and played all sorts of evil games on him. In the morning, they handed him to the Roman soldiers, who continued on with their beatings, mocking, and playing their wicked game on the Lord. According to the scriptures, they assembled the whole battalion before Christ. That is about 500 to 800 soldiers before him, only to beat, mock, and ridicule the Lord. And the Lord allowed that because it was not yet the end game. In all those things, the Lord allowed it because the end game had not come yet. And on the cross, they torn his clothes and cast lot on it. All of them were the games that they were playing on the Lord. Jesus Christ requested for water from them, and they rather gave him wine or vinegar. Now when he received it, then the Most High True God declared the end game by saying, "It is finished." Now when Christ died on the cross, there was a great earthquake, marking the end of the 3.5 years of his ministry. All the wicked were terrified by the earthquake that shook the ground upon which they stood, and they knew that it was really the end game. The same Jesus Christ, the Most High True God, who came 2,000 years ago, has now come through his two witnesses, PROPHESIED and Mary Romanes. And the timeline is exactly the same time as Jesus Christ the Lord came. From the time of sin on September 2015 to the full moon on the 20th of May 2019 is exactly the same time period predicted in the book of Daniel and in the testimony of Jesus Christ the Lord. But what was the response of the people when they read the messages of the Most High True God? They mocked the two witnesses and the faithful remnant. They sent their soldiers to attack us with their game weapons, and they hated the words of the Most High True God, which could transform them into the image of Jesus Christ the Lord, the Most High True God. And they continue on to put the Lord to test, wanting him to act against them. So the truth is that the Most High True God's wrath has now been kindled against the nations for playing games on his two witnesses. And now it has been declared on the 13th of May 2019 that it is finished. The end game is due for 20th of May 2019. That marks the 1,335 days predicted in the book of Daniel. So folks, fasten your seatbelt for the great earthquake ever recorded in history. From the testimony on May 13th, 2019's update, this is what PROPHESIED said. "And if the people on this earth refuse to be formed in his image and likeness with a heart of flesh, then he, that is the Most High True God, will simply begin transforming the earth into a reflection of what he desires. Which is why he spoke of great earthquakes, for that is how he formed the continent in the beginning. And so not only will he begin removing countries from the face of the earth systematically, he will in fact be removing continents from the face of the earth and rising up new ones. And our Creator is big on waves, as in he likes to make waves, as in waves that wash over entire countries so that he can start over. It was prophesied in these times that countries would in fact disappear in minutes. And how? Because waves that big travel with great speed. We have in fact received vision with the world map changed and countries removed and completely obliterated by two great earthquakes, followed by a massive wave of water. For the truth is that the Lord's wrath is kindled against all the nations, and the cup of his anger is full, and he will devour the nations in his hot anger, and give each nation the measure that they are due, and be greatly satisfied. Amen. The words of Peter the last. So don't wait. The Most High True God is going to shake the world, because it is Endgame and it is finished. Go to the website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com and read the words of Equator. May the Most High True God bless his faithful eminent flock with the needed graces to persevere on the now path that leads to the kingdom of heaven. Amen.